The word rabbi means a teacher. And in the Jewish faith, a rabbi is someone who's highly educated, has studied the Torah and the Talmud, knows all the laws in the Jewish faith. And that makes them able to lead a congregation or a synagogue. People look up to them and they ask them questions when they're not sure if something is morally correct or not. And then they lead services too. And one of the main thing that they're allowed to do is to read the scrolls that they read at the service.
Not currently. Starting from when I was about 8, my family celebrated a Christianized version of Passover. We would celebrate the Passover Seder either in the church where we were, which was a Protestant church along the way, or else in our family. And that actually was pretty meaningful to me along the way.
Okay, as far as I know, there are no saints in Judaism. They have prophets and they have people that have had visions and have said things, that have are led better lives than other people, but they don't call them saints. They don't pray to them. They don't venerate them the way Catholics do.
The Messiah has come, and he will come again.
Pastors only are not so much teachers the way rabbis are. Pastors do give sermons to teach about things about the Bible and stuff, but rabbis, that's their primary goal, is to be the teacher. It's not just to lead the congregation.
There were some further Eastern churches that split off earlier within Christian history that are called things like the Oriental Orthodox churches and the Assyrian Church of the East and so on. The Great Schism occurred in 1054 between Catholics and Orthodox. And then in the early 1500s came the Protestant Reformation, where a lot of groups split off from within the Catholic Church. The four sort of main roots historically within the Protestant groups can be identified as the Lutherans, which is connected to Martin Luther and to countries like Germany, Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Then the Reformed, or sometimes called Calvinist root, which is connected to John Calvin, and can be connected especially to Holland and Scotland. Then the whole English grouping, which has some contradictory elements within it. Part of that's tied to Henry VIII splitting off of the Anglican Church, but not only that, because the Puritans, who are also the Congregationalists, were already there and already wanted him to go further. And there's a lot of groupings that come out of the English. And then there's the Anabaptists, which is especially connected with Ulrich Zwingli. Directly descended are not a lot of groups. The Mennonites and the Amish are among them. They're the more radical reformers. And although I don't know there's that many groups that descend directly from them, I think they've had a great deal of influence over time.
Rabbis. I mean, it's the Christian religion not to have a family, so I mean, I guess it's fair and it's part of God's law.
Okay. Rabbis can definitely have families, and it's always been that way. It's never been that they couldn't have families. Being celibate was never a part of the Jewish tradition. The priests, that being celibate became a part of the Catholic tradition, not at the very beginning even, because even Peter was married before he became Pope. So obviously, the first disciples were not necessarily people who couldn't be married. I think that there was a time when it was a good idea to have priests not be married, but I think it should be a personal choice now to a priest whether he wants to be married or not.